Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name's David and this is a magic review. Hey, today we're going to look at Psy Power from a secret factory. Alright, Psy Power, what is this? This is a telekinetic way for you to move objects with your mind, or make things fall over, or make things jump, or make things slide across a table. It's a remote controlled device that you leave on your person. And it takes some advanced setup, right? It takes advanced setup. It's not something you can just do at random. But then it'll give you the appearance of having a telekinetic power that you could move things psychically, right, with your mind. It's $100. It's from a secret factory. Let's talk about this. All right, so a couple questions we always ask about all of our magic reviews, and the first of which is, what's inside the box? What's inside the box? It's a nice tin. It's a tin box. You got a lot of stuff inside. You got the remote control. You got the object that's gonna move the objects. It's all USB charged, so you get a USB cable. And you get some spare parts for future use and repair. Is it what I thought? It kind of is, only because I've done the review for the Psy Watch from Secret Factory as well. And I was thinking it's probably gonna use some of the same parts or the same technology, and it did. How are the angles? The angles on this are probably the same that you would do for stage, okay? And the reason why I say that is because with stage magic, a lot of times you need some advanced setup, okay? Or parlor magic. This is not a close-up device that you can do table to table to table, right? This requires you to have set this up in advance in a room when no one was watching, okay? You get it all rigged, ready to go, and then at your opportune moment, you do the trick, and then once it's over, you're done for the rest of the night. You won't be able to repeat it unless you could convince everybody to go outside and you could reset, right? This is a one-time, one-off, advanced setup device. But angles-wise, nobody should see it because you have a remote control. It's probably in your pocket or it's hidden somewhere on your person. They're watching the object, they're not watching you. And then the object itself doesn't even have to be near the other end of the remote. It doesn't need to be near that other device. And just to give you an example, when I first got this, there was an Easter card on my mantle. I set the device up to make the Easter card fall over, okay? And I was clearly in a different room, told my kids to watch the card fell off, and the device that made it fall was on a bookshelf adjacent. Like, you would never even think to look in the bookshelf for the device that made something fall off the mantle. So angles wise, I think you're clean. What's the overall quality and production value of the video? The video is 1 hour and 5 minutes, which is great because I think there's a lot of application to this and there's a lot to it. So having 1 hour and 5 minutes is wonderful. Your teacher is seated at a kitchen dining table. He's got a wine cabinet behind him. He's wearing a hoodie, got a stationary camera. Sometimes he's in a workshop. As far as what he's gonna teach you, he's gonna go over what's in the box, briefly how it works. He's gonna talk about setup, how to perform maintenance on the batteries and the electronics, and then he's gonna go through a series of tricks. He's gonna knock over a lighter, he's gonna move a paper ball out from underneath a cup, he's gonna cut to a single card, he's gonna do a rising card from a box, he's gonna turn a page from a book, he'll slide a glass of water across the table, same thing with a soda can, and then he'll knock over a felt pen, and then lastly he'll talk about replacing some of the delicate parts in the remote. All right, so is it well made? It's very well made. It's not too heavy, it's not too big, but then it's also not too light and it's not flimsy. So I think if you take care of it, it should last you a good long time. Let me just jump to the negatives right now, okay? Because the negatives have to do with it being well made. They give you replacement parts, like I said, right? They give you replacement parts, but then in the video, there's no indication about what these replacement parts are, or where you could find them, or what they're made of. So obviously they understand that down the road you'll need to replace things, but after you replace the replacements, then what? I mean, what are these things? So there's no indication that they're gonna keep supporting this, or that you could find these objects out in the real world. How much practice does it require? Really none. I don't think so. I watched the hour instructional video and I pretty much figured it out. And like I said, I went over to my living room and I did a little rig, set it up, and made the card fall over exactly the way I wanted the very first time. There's no noise to this, which is nice. So you're not going to hear anything. There's no audio cue. And it's very fast, so it's not slow either. That's another thing to think about. Sometimes with psychic stuff, maybe you might want things to move slowly, like haunted key. Haunted key rolls slowly, and there's kind of like a grace to it. This is immediate. It's very fast. It's very quick. Things just fall over. So that might come into play when you're thinking about how you might use it. How much setup and reset is there? I think setup-wise, with a USB charge, you're looking at 20 minutes to a full charge. And then, like I said, setup, you're doing it all in a room, secluded. That you wouldn't really put your setup time into consideration because you're understanding that you're only going to do this one time. I think the good things I can say about this is it kind of puts a stage act into the palm of your hands. You can now do a stage effect or like a TV illusion, David Blaine style effect easily. Right? I mean, if you know somebody that owns a shop, or even if you just walk into a storefront and say, hey, I saw your window display and I noticed you had like a pair of ladies' shoes out there. Is it okay if I play a little joke with my friend? And they say, sure, or whatever like that. You could rig it so that one of the shoes would fall over on demand, right? And then you and your friend could walk by the store. You could say, hey, watch this, and you could wave your hands at the shoes, and one of them would fall, right? I mean, that would be like a David Blaine style TV Christmas special effect, right? But I mean, obviously then you have to go back and retrieve your other item, but who knows? Who knows what you could set up? I mean, one thing I was thinking of is this would be a great two-person act. Like if you had a two-person act, like if you had a buddy that could help you, this would be amazing. Because let's say your buddy is across the street. He's across the street or he's across the way in a park, and he's sitting on a park bench, he's reading newspaper, and then maybe he's got like a soda sitting on the park bench right next to him. Okay, you could be across the way, you could tell that you're a spectator, hey, watch this, you could wave your fingers, and then the soda can would fall over, or the whole soda would fall on the ground and spill and get everywhere. Your friend could stand up and act like, what happened, right? He could go through like a pantomime, like, oh, but then your friend could reset up the soda, he could reset up the device, and then kind of give you the thumbs up, and you're ready to go again. And the next spectator that walks through the park, you could, end your act, you could end your walk around or your busking act by causing something to move on the other side of the park, right? That'd be kind of cool. If you had a second person in your act, they could always reset the device for you and you could get multiple tricks out of it. So back to negatives, I think if there were another negative to this, the production value on the trailer is amazing. But that production value does not transfer over to the actual instructional video. The instructional video is shot very rudimentary. In fact, one thing in the trailer, he walks between two chairs and the chairs move aside for him. You cannot move chairs with this utility, okay? So that's not real. All right, so is it worth your money? It is $100. It's $100, and I've already told you what it is. There's no secret. It's a remote device that makes things fall over. So if that's worth it to you, then it's worth your money. Who would like this? Like I was saying, people that want to do a stage style effect or a TV show magic trick effect, but for a low cost, right? $100 to do an effect like that. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I mean, you could do some pretty amazing stuff with this, especially if you could do it from a distance, right? Especially if you had some help. This puts some big power in your hand. And so definitely think about your character, weigh some pros and cons, and make an educated purchase. All right, so that's everything I can say about Psy Power from Secret Factory. Of course, I want to thank hocus-pocus.com for allowing me to have this so that I could do the review for you. And if you would like to purchase it for yourself, you can find it at Hocus Pocus right now. I'll put a link below in the description. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.